What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a very delayed edition of WWE Network and Chill, where every single week I, Graham GSM Matthews, break down all the content that I watch on the WWE Network, as well as on the E! Network, breaking down the weekly episodes of Total Bellas. Now, again, as I mentioned, this review is way late, and by the time this goes up on late Friday night of June 22nd, we will be so close to this week's episode, it's nuts. So this week has been so busy, and I knew it would be because I was in Chicago last week for Money in the Bank weekend, and everything was going well up until that point, and I was busy last week too. But when I got back, I had so much stuff I had to do, and things are still piling up. There's still stuff as I record this that I need to watch, review, write, record. So much I still need to do. And this episode, this review, should have gone up on Monday, but because I made the decision, and I don't regret it, to go to the Field Museum in Chicago instead on Monday, instead of staying at the hotel and watching Total Bellas and the WWE 24 and the Hardys, which I still need to watch. I've seen so much praise for it. I'm going to watch that. That review will be up at some point, hopefully this weekend. I went to the museum instead. That being said, though, I finally got the chance to sit back, relax, and watch Total Bellas on Thursday night. And I don't have many notes on this episode. It's Season 3, Episode 5, Makeup or Breakup, question mark, with, Nikki and John finally meeting up for the first time since the breakup. I think back in Episode 2, if I'm not mistaken. Talking about their future together and what their future holds as a couple, maybe not as a couple, and Nikki also kind of getting the hang of not really having kids, but looking after a kid and Birdie Joe, and Bree and Brian go away to pack up their stuff from San Diego to Arizona, I believe, or wherever Nikki Bella is staying at that point. Anyway, or she's going to move in with them. So regardless, I thought this was a relatively, a short and sweet episode by all means. So we kick off the show with the Bellas going skateboarding with Mama Bella and John Laurinaitis, which is entertaining to watch, to say the least. Nikki goes to a signing, an autograph signing without Brie because Birdie Joe got sick. So Nikki goes alone, has a great time. She calls it very nerve-wracking because apparently on her way to the signing, she gets a call from her publicist, who is asking her, should we put this out, in the wording of the breakup of her and John Cena. By this point, it had not yet been made public. They finally make it public at this point, and she's on her way to the signing as she speaks on the phone to her publicist. So the news is basically out there by the time she does the autograph signing, and she's worrying what people might say because, they might bring it up. All goes well. She has a great time. The news goes public. At that same point, John Cena appears on the Today Show to talk about his relationship with Nikki Bella. Bree shows Nikki the clip of Cena on the Today Show, and he says, basically, he didn't say, in so many words, we had a great time, now it's time to move forward. He didn't say that. He said they will work through the problems they have. So he's not calling off the relationship, even though it was pretty much confirmed by all sources that they were broken up. John said they will work through the rough patch. So that spoke volumes to Nikki, and she really thought that was a positive sign for their future. Meanwhile, like I said earlier, Bree and Brian went back to San Diego to pack up their things from their original house they've had since they first started dating many years ago. Bree talks about sacrificing sleep and many other things to be a good mom, and we talked about that in one of the other episodes of Total Bellas, where she tries to be the super mom, the super Bella, the superwoman, and she can't do it all at once, and being a great mom and being a great businesswoman. So she talks about that, and Nikki is kind of contemplating going through the same thing. She says it's exhausting but doable, says Nikki, because Nikki does watch Birdie Joe and Bree and Brian go out to pack up their things in San Diego. So she does it. She hires a nanny just to show Bree that she can be a great businesswoman and also focus on herself at the same time. She gets a lot of stuff done. It falls on a busy work day and a busy business day, but it doesn't stop Nikki from doing everything she wanted to do. She's very exhausted. She had to sacrifice some sleep, a lot like Bree would, being the great mom that she is. But in the end, it's worth it. She enjoyed the experience, and she knows, like I said, it was exhausting, albeit doable. But anyway, so it shows Brie that she could still do the things that she wants to do, all the while being a great mother. So anyway, Brie and Brian start moving out of their old place, flooded with old memories because they've been there for so long. Of, when Brie was pregnant, when they first got married, when they had Birdie Joe, and all this other stuff. JJ and Mama Bella stop by at various points to help out Nikki in watching Birdie Joe. And then she tells Brie, basically after the nanny thing worked out well, because she was a friend of a friend type of thing, the nanny was. She tells Brie, it went great, so you should look into it. Brie and Brian say goodbye to the house, a very tearful, emotional goodbye, as I mentioned. They return to Birdie Joe, are reunited at long last, and Brie admits that she and Brian have not had sex more than a few times since Birdie Joe was born, and they kind of need to focus more on themselves moving forward. Brie and Nikki also sit down to discuss how they believe the dinner should go with Cena, because Nikki and John will be meeting up soon enough, and Nikki's kind of going through how she should walk to the date and all this other stupid shit. But basically running down how she's going to bring up various points and how they'll talk about certain things, and you won't know until it happens, of course. So anyway, Nikki and John meet up for dinner. Cena says that he thought that with Nikki, the longer the relationship went on and moving in with John, saying yes to be his wife, that she was giving him hope. That she didn't want to be a mother. And Nikki thought for a very long time, and we've talked about this before, that she thought she was okay with not being a mother, with the idea of not being a mother at any point down the road. But of course, in interacting with Birdie Joe, she realizes deep down that she does want to indeed be a mother at some point. So Nikki says just that, feelings change. I'm sorry, that's, I know I felt that way at one point, I don't feel that way anymore. And Cena, the whole point of this dinner is because he wants to find out how she genuinely feels. Have you fallen out of love with me? Is what Cena says about Nikki. He says, have you fallen out of love with me? Is that the whole reason why we broke up? And Nikki says, listen, I want kids. I just want to be a mom. And I think kids are the reason why people stay together. And John Cena brings up a great point. Because kids are also the reason why people split apart. And Nikki's basically arguing in John Cena's mind that if they don't have kids, then it's going to get boring. And not only that she'll regret it, we've talked about that before, but if they don't have kids, it won't be exciting anymore. And just it opens up all these other possibilities. So Cena feels that she's arguing that she will eventually get bored of him. And she doesn't, she denies it, but not 100%. Because she does feel that having kids is the only route to take. But and Cena also brings up a great point that he knows that she has a void deep down in her heart. And in her mind, having kids will fill that void. But Cena brings up a great point. What if it doesn't? What if having kids doesn't fill that void? What then? Then you have all these regrets with kids that you don't really want or care for. So you're going to have a problem there. But Nikki just flat out admits, I just want to be a fucking mom. If you're not going to give that to me, let's end it right here, and we'll both move on. Cena says, you know what, if it means, he doesn't really say he wants to have kids. He says he will have kids, but because Nikki wants to. And only because if he doesn't have kids with her, then she'll leave him. And he doesn't want her to leave him. He can't afford that to happen. He wants her in his life. And the only way to ensure that is if they have kids. So he's not exactly enthusiastic about it. Like I said, it goes back to what Nikki said earlier about watching Birdie Joe. It's exhausting, which having kids is obviously, not speaking from experience, but it's doable. And John realizes that. He's willing to go through with it as long as she's there for him, as long as she's still in his life. So I guess he brought up the fact that he had a vasectomy and that he can't have kids physically, but he's willing to get the surgery reversed. I don't know why that was the first time that was ever brought up. I'm not really sure why that was never, at least to my memory, I never knew that. I've never heard that before about John Cena, that he physically cannot have kids. I never knew that. I'm not even sure if Nikki knew that. I'm sure she did. But it was kind of like thrown in there like, oh, like we've already known that, but I had no clue. But like I said, he said he's willing to have kids with her, if only to keep her. And that's where we end things for this edition of Total Bella. So again, there's not a lot to this episode. It's really about Nikki again. Brie and Brian are kind of a side story. as they pack up their things from San Diego to find a new place in, I think, Arizona, so Nikki can move in with them. I'm not really sure what the hell the point of the rest of the season is, because at the end of this episode, they basically make up, do Nikki and John, and the relationship is back on. So what the hell is the point of the remainder of the season? There's multiple episodes left. This is episode 5. In season 1, we had 6 episodes. We have more than 6 episodes. 6 episodes in the season. In the last season, I think there were 8, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's more than 8 episodes in this season as well. I think there might be 10. They made it seem like this was the halfway point. So there might be 5 more, which would make sense too, because I think Ms. and Mrs. is debuting in late July. So this might take us up until that point. Either way, though, I mean, they've already teased, they're going to break up again. It's a regret. Like, what the fuck? Well, what the fuck is going on here? So I'm really confused where they go from here, because this felt like the finale of the season finale, with John saying, yeah, I'll have kids, and then they make up, and then that's it. I'm not really sure where else they can go from here, but I'm interested to find out. So anyway, guys, that was season 3, episode 5 of Total Bellas, Makeup or Breakup, ? My review of it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Like I said, I apologize for all the delayed videos over the last number of days. I still have a random video blog, the Money in the Bank weekend completion video, to put up at some point in the next few days. I've got to watch/review the WWE 24 special on the Hardys from this past week, which I heard was amazing, one of the best 24 specials they've ever done. And I still, as of this recording, have to record Wrestle Rant Radio, which I have yet to do. Again, I've been so fucking busy. I'm sorry. But everything will be up. The excerpts, WWE Network and Chill, the video blog, everything will be up, hopefully, by Monday. And it's Friday as I record this, as this hopefully goes up. So, anyway, guys, like I said, new episode of Total Bellas airing this Sunday on the network at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully, if I can watch it in time, which I think I should be able to, I'll have my review of the show up on Monday. So that being said, folks, enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.